January 19th, 2024. So again, this was a really important game. The Lakers were coming into the game on I think, a two-game winning streak. The Nets had actually been, I think, 1-9 in the last 10 games. So definitely a game you've got to win, a game you've got to come out early and set the tone, and really to try to build some momentum. The Lakers have been utilizing a new lineup, so it's going to be important that they really try to work out some of the kinks there, really try to make sure that they've got a strong understanding of who they are and what they want to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the keys to victory for this game. So coming into this game, the Lakers over the course of the season had been doing very, very poorly in the first quarter. So it's going to be important that the Lakers win the first quarter, that they come out and really hit the Nets in the mouth quickly, come out really enforce their will. Um, the Lakers have a dominant team, particularly when you think about a team that's about going down inside and getting buckets in the paint. When they're really flowing in that area, they do very well. So it's going to be important that the Lakers come out in the first quarter, set the tone, and win the first quarter. The second thing is going to be this: the Lakers have gone with this new lineup, and I kind of call it their new offensive lineup setup. I'm not convinced that it's the best lineup. We may get into some looking at some of their other lineups, but it's clearly a move in a different direction. As you know, Coach Ham earlier in the year had gone with this lineup that was pretty much primarily all defensive players, guys that showed little offensive proficiency, and the Lakers suffered for that. And not even just in the games that they suffered, but I think it really disrupted the locker room. Because if I'm a player, I'm gonna have a real problem when I understand that we're playing in a league right now that's an offensive driven league, and you're playing these lineups that don't seem to have any chance of being successful. And we saw many teams how they responded to that lineup. In many cases, they wouldn't guard Vando, they wouldn't guard Cam Reddish. Um, so those lineups, in my estimation, really put them in a very difficult playing from behind position. So it's going to be important that the Lakers really come out and maximize the dominance with this new offensive lineup. Because with the lineup of D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Torian Prince, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, you've got a viable, dangerous player at every position. Now, again, we're going to talk a little bit more about, even though they're dangerous at every position, that doesn't necessarily mean that every person has an equal right to shoot the ball or to try to score. Because with a lineup like that, you still want to predicate your offense through Anthony Davis, number one, LeBron James, number two, D'Angelo Russell, number three, Austin Reeves, number four, and then finally five, Torian Prince. He should really only be taking catch and shoot threes or shots that avail themselves to him. He shouldn't be doing anything creative, anything where he's pounding the ball or doing anything. Everything should come through Anthony Davis, LeBron James, then D'Lo, then Austin Reeves. And I use that order because I think of just offensive generation, that those three that order gives you the best opportunities with offensive generation. So it's going to be very important in this game that Anthony Davis proves to be dominant. He's going to have to come out early, and I'm looking for a 30 and 12. I'm looking for him to impose his will on the inside. And then when you think about 30 points, Anthony Davis, we know Anthony Davis can come out and get 20 and a quarter or 20 and a half. But when you say 30 points, I think what's important there is that you're continuing to go back to Anthony Davis in the second half of games, because I think there's been games where the Lakers will come out early and they'll get Anthony Davis going, and then they'll kind of go away from him. But when you talk about a 30-point night, I think that's about really going out and being intentional about getting Anthony Davis touches and Anthony Davis opportunities to score the basketball. I would actually really prefer if Anthony Davis scored 35 points, but I think 30 points shows us that we're being intentional. And then we talk about the 12 rebounds. That's really about getting onto the glass. I didn't put assist on there because when I think of Anthony Davis, I don't think about him as a dynamic passer. With that being said, over the last two games, Anthony Davis has done a tremendous job of distributing the basketball off of double teams. So I think it's going to be important that we look at how can we maximize that. Number two, LeBron James has got to be LeBron James. LeBron James has got to come out, get 25 points. And those are really 25 points going downhill, putting pressure on the defense, 8 assists. because again, you've now got D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and Torian Prince surrounding him. So that's more than ample shooting. And you've got Anthony Davis somewhere on the court. So he's going to get a lot of one-on-one matchups, and he's going to get opportunities to enforce and impose his will as well. So again, with the 8 assists, that's just about getting other guys involved to really maximize the offensive talent that he has on the court. I think it's going to be important that he is assisting the basketball. And then 5 rebounds, just staying engaged, staying on the glass, just keeping him on his toes. So those are the first two major keys when you think about them offensively with this new lineup. And then finally, you're going to need a strong night from D'Lo and Austin Reeves, because we know that even with everything that we're looking at, if I am the Nets, just as I said, there was a hierarchy that I want LeBron James scoring. Excuse me, I want Anthony Davis as my, for the offense. If I'm the Lakers, I want Anthony Davis as my number one option. I want LeBron James as number two. I want D'Angelo Russell as three. I want Austin Reeves as four, and I want Torian Prince as five. Well, the absolute opposite is happening for the Nets. The Nets want Torian Prince to shoot the most shots. They then want Austin Reeves to shoot the next most amount of shots. They then want D'Angelo Russell to shoot the next most, and then LeBron James, and then finally Anthony Davis. So it's an absolute opposite happening, which means there's going to be some opportunities for both D'Lo and Austin Reeves to really make some things happen. So I think it's going to be very important in this game that D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, when they're getting open looks, that they're hitting those shots, because they are going to definitely get open looks, because the defense is still going to lean and prioritize LeBron James and Anthony Davis as their primary targets. So that's going to create some opportunities for D'Lo and Austin Reeves to really get going. And it's going to be important that they come out the box hot and that they're hitting the shots that are available to them. Very, very important. So that gives you a sense of the offensive kind of game plan, if you will, in terms of things they need to maximize. The third thing is this: the Nets have an incredible bench. When you think about, there's two players on the Nets bench that I think could start for about any team in the NBA. You've got Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas is a cold-blooded scorer. He can score at all three levels. He's very dangerous. So it's going to be important that the Lakers can figure out how to minimize the impact of the Nets bench, because if you go starter for starter, I think the Lakers have clearly got a better team. But when you start looking at the impact that can come off of the bench, you can see very easily how the Nets bench could be problematic. Well, that's not even forgetting into an old Laker from last year, Lonnie Walker. So Lonnie Walker's a guy that can absolutely fill the basket up. He can shoot from range. He can attack the rim. He's a smart player. So he's another player that's coming off of that bench for the Nets that you have to account for, and you have to really strategize, ask yourself, how do we really defend those guys? And what's crazy is, even though those guys are bench guys, you may have to put some of your best defenders on them because of their ability to score the basketball. So again, that's the third key. The Lakers are going to have to figure out how to minimize the impact of the Nets bench. And then finally, the last thing is just that the Lakers are going to need a strong bench performance to counteract the bench performance from the other team. Even though, when I'm talking about a big game from your starters and you're talking about a 30 and 20, that's 50 points there, and maybe 15 to 20 for D'Lo and Austin. So that's maybe another 30 points. That's 60, 70, 80, maybe Torian Prince. So you're looking at almost 100 points from your starters for the Lakers, and that's quite a punch. But you know that the Nets can get up and down the court, so you've got to have a little bit of punch coming off the bench. And I prioritize Rui Hachimura. I said Rui needs about 10 points, 10 to 15 points. And I really focus on these guys because they are wings that have the capacity to go inside. Because I still think there's going to be some opportunities on the inside for the Lakers, even with some of their bench players. So Rui, I'd love to see him with a strong 10 points off the bench, a pressure-filled 10. One of the things Rui does a great job of is really playing downhill, putting pressure on the defense. And I think that when you can give that type of punch off the bench, I think it's going to be very, very helpful. He's a big physical guy, a physical player coming downhill. He's able to create. I feel like he's still got a ways to go in terms of some offensive creation. But he does have a good punch coming downhill and running the break, filling lanes and things of that nature. So Rui Hachimura, 10 to 15 points, I think will be important. And then finally, C. Wood. Christian Wood has got to kind of get back involved. I feel like over the last couple of games, they haven't really been maximizing his use. And as a result, you're just not seeing the type of productivity you'd like to. He's a guy that you've got to get 10 to 12 to 15 points out of. Um, and really try to maximize. He's a walking mismatch because if you've got a Christian Wood on the court, depending on who he's playing with, he's playing against the other team's third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. If he's coming off the bench, some of their poor defensive options. So I think it's going to be very important that the Lakers can figure out how to maximize Christian Wood. I've been an advocate that Christian Wood should start. I'm not sure I get a lot of support on that. When I look at some of the blogs where I've posted that, hey, I think Christian Wood should start, you get a lot of pushback, particularly in the area where they'll say, well, if Christian Woods is starting, it's forcing LeBron James to play more defense. And I would just kind of, again, my argument against that personally is just the idea that you tell Christian Wood, if you want to be on the court, I need you to guard threes, period. I need you to guard threes that allows LeBron James to guard fours and fives and all that type of stuff. But you just tell him what he's got to do and then put him out there to go do it. And I think that he's a guy that will step up to that challenge. Is he going to be the most elite three defender? No, but who really is? Okay. So again, very, very important. And then the last thing when we talk about that bench, if you've got the Vandalorian coming off the bench, it's going to be important that they can figure out how to maximize Vando's minutes by not allowing him to be a liability on offense. Because over these probably throughout the season, Vando has been a liability offensively. Teams have just left him unguarded, particularly when you just sit him out and have him standing out at that 3-point line. I feel like he's done some damage. I've been gone as far as to say, if I'm a team guarding him, until he hits 5 threes, I'm not guarding the guy. I'm not talking about 5 threes in a game, 5 threes in a row. I'm talking about 5 threes, period. I'm not guarding the guy, right? So the Lakers have got to do a better job, and I think that they have, of figuring out how to leverage Vando, to maneuver Vando, get Vando position to make plays, not just standing at the 3-point line. So again, I think if the Lakers can focus on these keys to victory, it's going to put them in position to win. So let's go. All right, so we're going to jump into second quarter action. Again, the Lakers come in with a pretty sizable lead. But even in the first quarter, we saw some things that, could prove problematic. But at the end of the day, 40 points in the first quarter, I think that's a lot to be excited about. So let's go ahead and jump into the second quarter. Lakers come in up by 9. All right, so let's take a look here. So AD played the whole first quarter, and I think that's been a strategy, that the Lakers have gone with for quite a while now, which is either AD or LeBron on the court at all times. And I think that makes sense. It's still just a matter of making sure that you're still putting out units that are, proficient units on the court. So here we've got, looks like D'Lo, Christian Wood, looks like Max Christie potentially there, LeBron James, and the Vandalorian. So we see what we've got going on. You've already heard me say that in that first period, one of the emerging threats was Cam Thomas. And like I said, I'm thinking, hey, we've got to try to figure out how to play denial on him, really, because once he's getting the ball, he's a difficult player to stop. So either playing very aggressive denial on Cam Thomas and trapping him, forcing other people to beat you. So let's kind of take a look at what we've got and go from there. So again, I'll take that play there. If you take a look here, some interesting things happened. Cam Thomas, again, he does his thing. He's coming downhill. But again, what did I say? I'd rather trap Cam and force him to get somebody else to make a play. And I'm okay with that. I'm willing to live with the consequences of that. I don't think he's proven himself at this point in the league to be a good enough passer, a good enough creator for others to really, to not prioritize stopping him from scoring. So I think everybody did what they needed to do on this play to stop Cam Thomas from scoring. So again, that's as good as you're going to do. Christian Wood using his length, even if you see Christie kind of coming down. Well, there's something important here, right? The ability for Cam to get that ball way back out here to Lonnie Walker, if that's Lonnie Walker, I think is pretty low. So, you pretty much kind of come down and try to seal out the big man here, the best of your ability. Yeah, I mean, Christian Wood did about as good as you can do on that play. So again, I'll take that. All right, something important that emerges here is, remember I said if I am playing against the Lakers, I'm going to put my best defensive vertical player on the Vandalorian. And I say that for a couple of reasons. Number one, Vando simply just doesn't have the ability to really make a lot of great plays around the rim. Now, I am noticing a potential weakness here. Okay. So this lineup here, um, you know what? I'm going to pause here because I think I want to go look at this lineup for the Lakers here and see if this lineup has played before. And something could jump out here because I do believe I've seen lineups with Christian Wood and Vando, and those lineups have been very successful. But I want to pause and I want to go look at looking the glass, and I want to take a look at this lineup particularly. And there's a reason that I say that. Okay, so let me go ahead and pause and take a look at that. Pull that up. So just pull over here. Let's pause. All right, gang. Let's see if I'm sharing the right screen here. I'm not. So I want to figure out how to share a different screen. Give me 1 second. All right, gang. I think we're here, and I pulled up the screen that I wanted, which is here on cleaning the glass. So again, what I wanted to highlight, gang, very important, is the lineup that's on the court right now. It's D'Angelo Russell, Max Christie, LeBron James, Christian Wood, and Jared Vanderbilt. I pulled this lineup for a couple reasons. This particular lineup has had 48 possessions on the season, and it has a slight negative 2.1 point differential. They're scoring about 112 points. Let's see. They're giving up about 114. So it's about a wash lineup, right? Not horrible, not great. I can see at times why it would be a good lineup because you've got two ball creators on the court. Depending on where you play Jared Vanderbilt, you can hide him. Christian Wood is a dangerous three-point shooter. So you can see why the lineup could be strong, but also you can see why the lineup could be weak. And here's why. The reason is Jared Vanderbilt. Depending on how a team plays Jared Vanderbilt, it could give them the advantage. And let me say what I mean by that. If you play your most elite vertical player on Jared Vanderbilt, and if Jared Vanderbilt floats around the rim, you leave him around the rim. If Jared Vanderbilt sits at the three-point line, you still float him at the rim. It causes a situation where you're getting a lot of pressure on the defensive side at the rim. So very important to see this lineup, any lineup with Vanderbilt, becomes susceptible depending on how the other team plays Vanderbilt. Okay. So I already know that every time Jared Vanderbilt has been in the game so far, what they've chosen to do, and this is how I would play him as well, they're putting their most elite vertical defender on him. So Claxton is just now coming back into the game, but when Giles was in, he guarded Vanderbilt and he played him. He played pretty much as a help defender at the rim. Claxton, who's even a better defender than Giles, is in the game, and he's doing the same thing. So already I can tell we could have some issues. I would love to see if I'm on the Lakers team and I saw how they're playing Jared Vanderbilt. I would love to have a different player in here that's more of a dangerous scorer, particularly with this lineup here with LeBron James and his ability to create action and things of that nature. Now, with that being said, if you're running Jared Vanderbilt in like pick and rolls, similar to the way they use Claxton, and you just say Jared Vanderbilt, well, you know what? That's a great point. That's a great segue. So let me go ahead and I want to switch screens. I'm going to go ahead and pause again and switch my screen. All right, so let's jump back into the action again. But again, very important here. We see Vando down here. And again, remember what I said about Vando. He's not really great around the rim. He doesn't have great hands. He doesn't finish well. So yes, you've got him down there. He is a good rebounder. But imagine Christian Wood down here and someone else out here on the three-point line where Christian Wood is. Christian Wood is really good around the rim. So again, it's a chess match, right? So as the head coach or the coaching staff, I've got to be able to out chess the Nets. And right now, I think that with what I'm seeing the lineup on here, with how they're playing the lineup, I think we've got a problem. I think that the Nets kind of have a slight advantage here. Something that jumps out as well is Christian Wood being guarded by this, by a small guy. You got to figure out some type of way to take advantage of this, right? Now, you're not able to take full advantage of this if Vando's in the game. Here's why. Because if Vando is in the game, then what happens is Vando's guy can simply come out and double team on Christian Wood. But imagine if you have a more proficient player and maybe Vando's guy is over here, like, Vando's playing the three-point line. You've got a mismatch all day with Christian Wood on just about anybody in the world. He's usually a little bit more skilled than the bigs and stronger and bigger than the small guys. But you're not really able to take advantage of this right now because they're just going to commit a second player to help on Christian Wood. So again, you've got to play chess here, not checkers. So let's go ahead and walk this out, see what we've got. Okay, so D'Lo gets picked. It is what it is. Okay, so watch this, gang. Christian Wood made a great play here. Vando made a pretty good play as well. But I don't feel confident with Vando down here. Not a chance. Vando maybe hits 1 out of 3 of these shots where he's pretty much wide open at the rim. He does not do a great job of finishing at the rim. So again, if I am the Nets, and this was just a quick action, I'm going to take this. Vando's not going to beat me, period. So he gets the bucket. I'll give you that. But he's not great at that. He just, over the course of the season, over the course of the last 2 years, I've watched him in LA. He's not really great at that. That was way too slow. Like, that pass was there, and there should have been more activity. Like, you can see that play developing for 10 minutes. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, you just got to do better than that. You can't let this type of action happen this just doesn't make any sense. That just doesn't make any sense. You can't give that up. So to start the second quarter, pretty much it's 2-2, but it's not really 2-2 to me. In my belief, I feel like the first possession, it should really be 2-0, Nets up. Okay, so I'm going to say this again. Last time I checked, Lonnie Walker is not a great defender on little guys. So there's no way possible you can really explain to me how Lonnie Walker could guard Christian Wood. It's not even possible. Okay. But why is he able to, gang? He is able to, but why? He's able to because Claxton is not defending Vando. If Vando goes down by the rim, he's going to go with him. If Vando stays out here, for the most part, he's going to stay in the paint. Okay. Let's go back there. Vando, this time, his guy stuck with him enough that, it allowed an opportunity for D'Lo to get aggressive. And again, remember we said D'Lo one-on-one is a really good player. He's got a deep bag, and it's going to put pressure on pretty much anyone in the world that's guarding him. In this case, it looks like that might be Lonnie Walker. But at the end of the day, there's a couple things here. D'Lo can take this shot, number one, because if he misses, Christian Wood is in the most prone position to get this rebound. He could also kick the ball out here to LeBron James. So there's just a lot of things happening here that are to the Lakers' advantage on this particular play. Okay, so a great play. Okay, so watch this, gang. Again, I like everything I just saw here, and there's a couple reasons why. We know that with Cam Thomas in the game, he is their go-to offensive threat. So what I have suggested is you play denial, because once he gets the ball, he's going to take the shot, right? So again, they're setting screens for Cam Thomas way back past the half-court line. So I've got to have a guy prepared to trap him. I don't want to commit 3. three guys to him, but I definitely want someone else beating me, not named Cam Thomas. So if they're committed to giving Nick's to providing support on Claxton at this level, then C Wood has got to step up and trap that ball, to really force Cam Thomas to have somebody else beat you. He shouldn't be beating you. He should be beating you with passes, not with scoring, because his passing, he just hasn't shown that he's that proficient yet to make that a threat. Okay. So I like that play. Christian Wood drops off significantly. Why? He has to. Cam Thomas just came down and they were even. Cam Thomas blew right past him. So he plays this perfectly. Cam is going to take that shot because he's an elite scorer. So for an elite scorer, this is basically being wide open. Okay. And there's nothing that Christian Wood can do. Would I have liked him to close out a little bit better? Yes. But the last time he did that, he was blown by. And then some of the other Laker players didn't give him some support on the back end. So this is just about as good as you're going to get. Because the next question you got to ask is, would I rather have Cam Thomas shoot a 25-footer, or would I rather have Cam Thomas coming downhill on Christian Wood shooting at the rim? I'd rather have him shoot a 25-footer. Okay, so make or miss league. I'll take that play. We'll put it that way. I'll take that play. Okay, again, gang, watch this. So this time and I don't know if this is just the actual setup, but the defense here looks a lot better. They've made the adjustment now where Claxton is now on Christian Wood. I like that defensively a lot better because Christian Wood is such an elite offensive player. They just realized you've got to put, a legitimate player on him. And with that being said, now you got Cam on Vando, which, Vando's almost a 7-footer. He's 6'10". And with, long arms, but he doesn't really have an advantage on Cam because he doesn't have a great low post game. So it doesn't really play to his advantage at all. Okay. Okay. Something interesting here, gang. The Nets could be in a zone because two things lean me to believe they could potentially be in a zone, but I'm not sure. Let's take a look. Okay. So here you got Claxton on Christian Wood, right? But at the same time, nothing really happens for him to switch where now he has Vando and now he's going to take Wood. But nothing has really significantly happened to make them switch. So it tells me they're either in some type of zone. Yeah, it looks like they're likely in some type of a zone, which against this lineup probably makes sense. But the Lakers don't appear to be playing against the zone. They look like they're playing against man-to-man, but they don't quite realize that they're playing against the zone. Because one of the ways to beat a zone is with passing and getting the ball to certain spots on the court. Okay. So this clearly appears to be some sort of a zone. I'll take that shot. Not the best shot, but I'll take the shot. Right now, they look a little bit disorganized on what they're doing offensively against the defenses that they're facing. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look at that here, the breakdown here. Okay. So who's got who? So Christie is going with my man here on the initial setup. Now, again, this is very, very important. Christian Wood is guarding Claxton. LeBron James is guarding Royce O'Neal, okay? But some important things, if you pay attention, start to emerge here. LeBron James is going to be the reason this play breaks down because Christian Wood sees that everything is beat over the top. So he stays home as he should because otherwise he's got to play at the rim because LeBron, Christie are both out of the play. So Christian Wood does the number one most important thing, which is stop ball. However, Claxton just keeps rolling and nobody goes with him. So just a great play on the offensive side here because it puts guys in predicaments where they're not in a position to stop the play. So Christian Wood, LeBron's got to roll with him. And I get it. LeBron might say, well, this is his guy here. But at the same time, take a look, gang. He's coming downhill. Christie has been cooked. Christian Wood is making the only play that he can. He's either got to try to play this vertical to make that pass so tough that it can't go to Claxton. But LeBron James probably should have sunk down. Okay, there's just a lot of the Nets have schematically won this play. So whatever happens, happens. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop that. Because the play just it was a better play than the defense. All right, take a look at this gang. The Nets appear to still be in some sort of a zone. And remember, what do we know about how you beat zones? You beat zones with passing and kind of moving of just kind of the movement of the basketball. Okay. So again, anytime you've got LeBron James, able to get an open look, I like those. He's shooting at almost 40% this year. I've got no problem with that right there. I've got no problem with this play here. That's a deep, difficult shot. Chrissy's fighting his best to get over there. I'll take that. I'll take that. If they're going to beat me with these difficult threes, they're going to beat me. If LeBron James is going to beat me with 40 footers, then he's going to beat me as well. Let me say this about Lonnie Walker. One thing you know about Lonnie Walker is that he's got a deep bag. We saw him last year with the Lakers. He can really beat you from all levels. In fact, I was of the belief that he got pulled out of that starting lineup. Um, he was doing very, very well. And I think that actually backfired on the Lakers. Excuse me. I think that backfired on the Lakers because he was doing very well and they really weren't able to get the same productivity with him off the bench. Um, I felt like when he imagine him in playing kind of that two, because for a while they were playing Beasley, and I think that should have been Lonnie Walker, but that's neither here nor there. Let's take a look at this play here. Just a great offensive play, to be honest with you. It's just a great offensive play. So Max Christie, Max Christie's a tough defender. He's going to get better as he gets older and continues to get stronger. But he drops his butt and he really tries to play pretty solid defense. But he does have a susceptibility to get beat by real quick guys. He does, because I've noticed that time and time again. And again, who do you see coming to tell you where the play is coming from? You see Claxton. And remember what I told you about Claxton. What Claxton does is he eliminates the guy on the ball. Doesn't necessarily put himself in the best position for pick and rolls, but he does a great job of eliminating the guy that is guarding the ball. In this case here, he rolled pretty quickly. So it's a little departure from what he was doing in the first period. If you remember in the first period, what he was doing is he was really holding that pick even more. And Christie would be trailing by about a foot. So Christie's able to stay right on his hip, but he's pretty much for the most part beat. Christian Wood is in a very difficult predicament now because he's now got to defend Claxton, who just got to dunk at the rim, and he's also got to try to figure out how to stop ball. So this is a very difficult position to be in. Now, again, what I would say is this. I'm not sold on Lonnie Walker as this big passer. So, again, if I'm D'Lo or I'm LeBron, I may be a little bit more committed to the support just because I'm not sure that Lonnie Walker is that great of a passer out of this action. But again, Christian Wood, he's got to stay with his guy. And I wonder if Claxton's rolling a little quicker because it's not AD in there. If you remember when AD was in there, he never really rolled that aggressively. He would really commit strong to that pick and then give the offensive player the play to see what they would have. And that would pretty much be their only option. So let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, that's just a tough shot. Christian Wood played that as great as he could because he stayed on his guy while still putting out a long arm to try to defend that. That's as good as you're going to get on that play. All right. So again, gang, let's take a look. Because again, this is all strategy. This is all strategy. The Nets right now are playing a zone. Okay. The Nets right now are playing a zone. And, it's the type of zone we know with a zone, you beat a zone with motion and movement and ball movement, right? So as soon as they get the ball here, they collapse on him. He might have still been better off trying to power through Cam and try to get a play at the rim, even though he knows Claxton is on his back hip. But again, the point is they're in a zone and it's proven to be pretty effective. Because the Lakers still, this is like the third or fourth possession here in the second period where they look disorganized. They don't look like they have a strategy for how to beat this zone. Okay, so again, very important. The Nets appear to be running a zone. The Lakers don't look like they have a strategy for how to attack the zone. Okay, because this is not the shot I think that you want. Because again, let's talk about who's on the court. LeBron James, number one, be my first option. D'Lo would be my second option. Christian Wood would be my third option. Max Christie would be my fourth option. Vandaloren would be my fifth option. If I'm on the defense, I would want it to be the exact opposite. I would want Vando taking the most shots. I would want Max Christie taking the second most. I'd want Christian Wood taking the third most. I'd want D'Angelo Russell taking the fourth most and LeBron James taking the fifth most shots. So again, everything that the Nets are trying to do is designed around the idea of creating that flow. So Max Christie taking a somewhat contested 26-footer, I'll take my chances. All these things are to be noted. Okay, so again, pay attention, gang. Again, this is just good offense. I don't really have a problem with anything that I've seen on this. To me, this is just really good offense. Lonnie Walker is an elite scorer. Okay. Lonnie Walker, even when he came to the Lakers last year, one of the knocks against him was he didn't play defense. But one of the things I have to admit is that a lot of guys that got the knock of not being defensive guys, they stepped up and they did a lot better. Was he some elite defender? Not by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought he did a lot better. So he's coming downhill. He's putting pressure on Max Christie. Okay. Max has really got his hands full with an elite scorer like Lonnie Walker. Okay. So he comes in. So really with Lonnie, he could have shot that ball right there. Okay. He could have shot the ball right there. As you guys know, if I'm defensively, I would have much rather had D'Lo out here because Cam is not a guy that when he sees D'Lo, he's like, oh man, I'm eating tonight. Okay. When he sees D'Lo, he knows he has the advantage offensively versus defensively. Okay. So he's going to put pressure on the rim. But even with all that being said, I still like the closeout. I like the aggressiveness, and it just is what it is. Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get there. Okay. Okay. So again, I like the play. I mean, it didn't go in, but I like the play. Christian Wood, he's got to be a little more decisive here. But overall, it's a decent play because you're getting Christian Wood, who's a 60% shooter at that point on the court. You got to take your chances. I like that play. Okay. But again, let's think about this gang. Defensively, right? How come all of this is even possible? Let's take a look. So this is off of a made basket. Look at behaviors. Claxton, their best vertical defender, is just literally going back to defend the rim. So remember what I told you before, that even if Christian Wood has the initial advantage, he still has to face the fact that he has a secondary player that's playing at the rim to defend him as well. We saw this play after play after play in the Boston game. And it's why the Boston Celtics won that game. Basically here, they're doing the same thing. They're leaving a secondary defender, in this case, Claxton, at the rim, a long arm shot blocker to help defend. So even if it looks like there's a play, there's not. There's not. Because Wood had a tough time getting the ball because of the strong defense down around his waist. So by the time he does gather and says, "Oh, I'm gonna get my shot off," he's got a 7-footer in front of him. So if you guys see play after play after play, offensively, the Lakers are starting to slow down some. I'll take that three. I'll tell you why I'll take it too. Look who's shooting that. Let's take a look at this game. If it's not Cam, I'm letting anybody else beat me. And then second, I'd say maybe Lonnie Walker. But the rest of these guys, they can beat me. Cam's my top priority. Lonnie Walker is my second priority. If the other guys can beat me, they're just going to beat me. So again, the Lakers really haven't had a solid set in quite a while so far. Perfect. One-on-one basketball is going to have that play all day. Let's take a look at why no one came to help support here. All right, so we're coming up. This time they appear to be in a man-to-man defense. Remember what I told you guys? When the Lakers are facing a man-to-man defense, they have the advantage because LeBron against 90% of the guys in the league is going to beat his guy or has the capacity to beat his guy. But of the guys on the court, this is where you want that one-on-one action. And because of who's on the court and they're just not going to be able to overly commit. Because one thing, if LeBron does have his guy beat, he's such a computer, he can still make great passes out of the help defense. So you've got to stay home. So he comes down, no one's really helping. You know O'Neal's in trouble. You know he's in trouble. You know he's in trouble. Yeah, you just got to go help. You got to go help on LeBron. You got to go help on that play. And that was a big play because it allowed them to kind of keep the lead up just a little bit there. Okay, so if you take a look at this here game, you can see the Lakers pointing at this guy like, hey, who's got him? Okay, so watch this. We know that Vando is guarding Cam. So that's priority number one. And you got your best defender on him. I like that. Number two is Lonnie Walker. Okay, and it looks like initially Max Christie is guarding him. So you see some action here, right? But the point is, I need to be able to account for these two guys, period. Okay, so watch this. So so we do have a little bit of a problem. So remember what I said to you? They are going out of their way to get Cam Thomas shots. Okay, so if I'm Christian Wood or I'm whoever, remember, if I'm the Lakers, I wouldn't mind committing two bodies to Cam Thomas. So meaning Christian Wood or somebody step up here. It can't be Christie because Lonnie Walker is the second most dangerous threat, right? So I might show a little bit, but at the end of the day, either Christian Wood or LeBron, and this has been some confusion happening here play after play after play. LeBron is just not committing to really doing anything because there's two scary threats here. Claxton still has the ability to roll to the rim. LeBron hasn't shown a commitment to go with him. And then, or Cam Thomas coming downhill. LeBron hasn't shown a commitment to go there. So Christian Wood has shown commitment in two areas. He's shown a willingness to step up to cut off Cam, but he's also shown a willingness to step up and roll with the roller. Christian Wood, if you guys are watching his activity is excellent. Christian Wood activity is excellent. If LeBron James was playing with the same activity or playing with the same just communication, hey, I got the roller, I got Claxton. Now I'm Christian Wood, I can step up. And Max Christie can go close out on his guy a little bit better. Vando is still recovering over the top. Because Cam Thomas has not shown me he's a good enough passer to really make any type of play back behind him or anything like that. So again, top play, Cam Thomas. If I'm the Nets, that's who they want to score. Secondary play, Lonnie Walker. I like the closeout by Max. I do. But, maybe somebody said closeout under control, but he made a great play. He forced him to put it back down on the court, and that's just a great shot. That's a great shot. But some of that is on LeBron because he's not really doing anything defensively. He's not engaged. He's just not engaged. If I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn I heard them say D'Angelo Russell has 17 points right now. and he's not really forcing shots. He's getting them within the rhythm of the game. So that's pretty impressive to see how he's getting his shots. I think that's excellent. Man, I love Vando, his aggressiveness. To try, like he wasn't going to be able to stop Cam from getting the ball, but this is as good a play right here as you can on Cam. Remember what I said? With Cam, you have to be committed to put two on him. And then the question is he capable of making the play out of that? So I get it. We got Claxton totally free. Okay. But is Cam Thomas good enough to make the play? I like what I'm seeing here defensively. Because Cam Thomas is who I would be trying to take out of this play. Yeah, perfect. I mean, that could have been a dunk, right? Because you got to ask yourself why. I know D'Lo's small, but somebody has to go. D'Lo has to fall and like at least put a little body on, a little bit more of a body on Cam. Who is D'Lo guarding right now? Okay. So Cam, again, like sure, he could kick the ball out to O'Neal. He could. And if he does, LeBron does have the ability to kind of close out. But I would say in this particular situation, you've either got to have Taurean Prince or you've got to have D'Angelo Russell willing to close out and really seal up some of this stuff up more. Because the question is Cam Thomas able to make this play back to Lonnie Walker? I don't think that he is, but he is able to make a play on the rim and he's able to make a play here. But in real time with all the computer pieces going, is it fair to say like a player would know all that or not? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. So he just misses that. Not because it wasn't there, but he just missed. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this game. Went back a little bit far, but still good to see this. Man, I like how they stopped Cam Thomas, but then they just got to adjust on the back end. Okay, so LeBron, you know he loves the force action with the push. You know why he pulled the ball up. Well, I can see why he pulled the ball up because he's got a guy in front of him. He's basically got four guys around him, so he's in a tough predicament. And I'll take that shot. D'Angelo Russell's a rhythm player. He's been playing very well. I'll take that shot. I like that. Christian Wood again defending the rim. Good shot. I'll take that shot. That was an open 3-pointer by LeBron James, who's shooting 40% right now. I'll take that. I'll take that. Christian Wood didn't commit to close all the way out just because if the guy was to drive, he could be in some trouble. So I'll take that. Yeah, I think, again, I like that play. Well, let me not get so excited to say I like that play. Let's just see what's really happening defensively here. Okay, so we got a missed shot. The defense gets a chance to set up. Pay attention here, gang. Again, my concern. Claxton is able to basically play the rim. So Christian Wood, who's an elite offensive player, has to beat a small guy and then has another big guy supporting him. Advantage nets. Advantage nets. Advantage nets. And that's because Vando's on the court. Okay, good. So this has been a sequence of a lot of threes, and those are it's a make or miss league. If they hit them, great. They miss them, great. But it's not really because you're doing anything substantial to cause that to not go in. Okay, so we see a little bit of a lineup change here, gang. We see Austin Reeves, we see Rui, we see AD, we see Prince. So kind of gone back to somewhat the starting lineup, but not totally because now they've got Rui in here instead of D'Lo. Okay, but you got two ball handlers. I don't like Austin Reeves with the ball way out here like this. Just personally, I don't like him initiating a lot of offense. I like him as a secondary ball handler. There he goes. He gets his pick. Now he's dangerous with that pick. Oh, that was a great sequence right there, gang. The whole sequence was beautiful. Austin Reeves, everybody knows he's one of the best players in the world off the pick and roll. All right, so again, Austin Reeves, he's one of the best players in the world off pick and roll. Statistics prove it, right? Not one of the best passers, but he's one of the best scorers off the pick and roll. So he comes off and he just sees he's got a physical advantage here because he's not a great passer, in my opinion. He does some fancy passes, but he's not a great passer. But he gets the ball in here to LeBron James, who's going downhill. And this is the difference. LeBron James is so skilled, he can either take this, dunk, he can do so many different things, but he can also just pass it. And then having AD here instead of like Vando, or you got an elite finisher at the rim, a guy that can catch the ball and finish. Okay. So there you go. There you go. Everything works out perfect. Great play offensively overall. Okay, so take a look at this game. With the group that's on the court right now, primary offensive guy is Lonnie. So now Dinwiddie's dangerous, but right now he's been a little disengaged. I'm gonna say my primary guy on the court that I need to stop offensively is Lonnie Walker. And I like the fact they got Prince on him. He's their best defender. So we're gonna see what'll happen here. Okay, but you know, Lonnie Walker in this group that's on the court is the most dangerous offensive player. And I asked that question earlier. I told you guys, I said, I trust Lonnie Walker downhill to score. Lonnie Walker hasn't proven to me that he's, that proficient of a passer out of that. So if you can commit to say, hey, Lonnie Walker is not going to beat us with this group, you got a chance. Okay, we're going the other way. Yeah, and on fast breaks, the Lakers are they're incredible on the fast breaks. And it's really because of LeBron, because he plays with such force downhill. It's pretty much a bucket if he's part of that fast break offense. So again, they got an excellent bucket and a foul there. And again, putting pressure back on the Nets. Now, you know what's weird, gang? When you look at this particular lineup for the Nets, no one really jumps out as like a real scary person. Cam's gonna shoot his threes. Um, but like no one jumps out immediately. Like, Dinwiddie can get in his bag a little bit sometimes. But overall, there's no one guy that jumps out as like the lead guy that can really be dangerous here, which is kind of crazy because with Lonnie Walker, he's like you immediately are triggered because offensively he's such a threat. And then the same thing with Cam Thomas. But with this group here, you don't feel that overwhelming pressure that like there's a guy out there that's just going to cook you. Doesn't mean you go to sleep, but it's just a different type of a scheme that I might employ with those guys on the court. I like that shot. That's a good shot. Austin Reeves had an open three. It was kind of in not to say transition, but it was a good shot. Okay, I like that. LeBron just attacking the rim. Because again, why is he able to do this, gang? Take a look. Everybody can see him coming downhill, but why is he able to do that? It's because of who's on the court. Okay. Okay. So again, it's hard to see here, but this is all like man to man defense. Okay. And we'll see it more when they kind of reset and LeBron's coming back from the outside. Okay. Okay. So again, gang, why is LeBron able to do this? Well, first of all, like I said, when he was younger, he could do this all the time, but now he can do it because he's got a head of steam. And it's one on one where every single player on the court you have to respect. You got to respect Austin Reeves. He's at 40 feet. He's being guarded at 40 feet. You got Torian Prince. I can't remember who's down here in the corner. I think that's Rui down here. You got to guard him. And then even though AD's at the 3-point line, as I've always said, AD, you're always better off just keeping the ball out of his hands, period. So I'm going to defend him wherever he's on the court, just to keep the ball out of his hands, which means LeBron James can just come downhill and get something at the basket. This is also important because, again, it goes back to who is on the court matters. Okay. So Lakers offensively have really picked back up. They kind of at the beginning of the second quarter, they kind of slowed down a little bit offensively. And I would say that the Nets have slowed down some as well because I felt like in that first period, they that second the first part of the second quarter, they really had their offense going. Now that's a great look. That was a great look. But overall, defensively though, that was kind of what you wanted. That was deep into the shot clock. And eventually they did create a look for one of their guys for an open three, which was great patience by the Nets. But on the initial first 12 seconds or so, the Lakers did a great job defensively. So again, we're a man to man, which means, yes, this should be there. Okay. We're a man to man. Look how tight everybody's guarding their guy. So AD will always have an advantage one on one with anybody in the world, with anybody in the world. See, that's going to be there. That is going to be there. And there's not even a big guy on the court really to really try to slow any of that down. All right, pause, pause, pause. Important moment here, gang. Important moment. All right. So on the court right now, we have Cam Thomas is back. So offensively, he's their most dangerous weapon. Okay. So offensively, he's their most dangerous weapon. I still kind of feel like the Nets are playing a little bit small. So if that's the case, I'm going to try to keep going back into AD. I'm not sure. Now, this sounds crazy. I'm not sure this was a good time to take LeBron James out of the game. Okay. And I get it. They brought D'Lo back in, but I'm not sure this was a good time to take LeBron out. You've got them down by 12 points here. This would have been a great time to try to push this to 17. And you do that simply because AD, as long as this is the lineup they're playing, AD is the mismatch. So guys that have high IQs that can get AD the ball to take advantage of some of those mismatches, or LeBron playing with physicality downhill, I would have left LeBron in the game. Okay. Because of who they're playing, he's going to have opportunities downhill. AD's going to have opportunities downhill. Okay. We see Cam in the game. So again, priority number one to me is stop Cam. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of defense that was. I think you could do a better job of being square up in front of him. I'm not sure what that was all about. So again, gang, take a look. Right now, Anthony Davis has a mismatch, right? But no other Laker player has a clear mismatch. This would have been the time, like I said, that LeBron James should be in the game. Because no other Laker has a clear mismatch, it's obvious that the Anthony Davis play is the overwhelming mismatch that the Lakers have. But as a defense, it's still, it's not easy to get it into him. Okay. And if he does get, I'm sure we're going to see guys respond to kind of help out. But the more concerning thing, like I said, is you have an opportunity to really overwhelm them with force, and you're not doing that. Nah. Nope. So again, think about what I'm saying to you, gang. With the lineup that's on the court right now, okay, I want the ball to get to AD, but I don't want AD touching the ball. He's touching the ball at 25 feet or, 10, 15. This is too far. I need AD to touch the ball down here. Okay. With the group that's on the court, you can't force that. Whereas if LeBron James was on the court, you could really more aggressively force that. because Austin and D'Lo, they need a runway of like, set a screen way up here at 28 feet, and then they start attacking and all the rest of that, right? If LeBron James and AD were right here at the top, with just force alone, they can make some things happen against this particular group that's in. LeBron James should be in the game because this is all they're going to do. You get AD the ball way out here at 12 feet. They're going to double him. They're going to give Austin Reeves this shot, basically, because I'd rather give that up than give this up. And Austin is not shooting great. Austin on the year right now shooting 34%. That means if he shoots 100 of these, he's going to hit 34 of them. He's not shooting great right now. Okay. And then remember how we talk about like priorities of scoring. With this group here on the court right now, it would be AD is my number one option. D'Lo number 2. Austin Reeves number 3. Rui Hachimura number 4. Taurean Prince number 5. So even though AD has the ball at the top, there's really no play here. They're going to commit to the double right away. This should be D'Lo with the ball, playing two-man ball with Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves out here spotted up, the other guy spotted around the perimeter, maybe Rui playing in the dunker spot. But D'Lo should be orchestrating the offense at this point. Because this is just catch and pop. This is, as long as Austin Reeves and they're doing this, is just dry catch and pop basketball. D'Lo's going to be more dynamic and able to really make some more things happen. He should be orchestrating, and it should be an attacking offense coming from the top. If LeBron James is not in the game. Okay, it's a good shot. I'll take it because it's an Austin Reeves open 3. Not happy about the shot, but it is what it is. All right, so pay attention here, gang. What did I tell you? If Cam Thomas is on the court, he's the guy I want to trap, I want to stop. If he's able to beat me with passes, he beats me with passes. But I'm not going to just let Cam Thomas come up the court and beat me. You got to take something away. I'm taking Cam Thomas out the game. That's just not good enough. That's just not good enough. He goes past 2 guys. You got to force him to get rid of that basketball. That's just not good enough. All right, so again, gang, I'm going to say it again. Austin Reeves with the ball at the top of the court, it's a dry offense. Because we already know what he's going to do. AD's going to come set some weak screen and get a little bit of action. And now, unless Austin Reeves, once he gets that screen, is attacking, because off the pick and roll, Austin Reeves is one of the best in the world. But I would much prefer D'Angelo Russell orchestrating the offense at this point with LeBron James not on the court at the particular moment. Okay? I would much prefer D'Angelo Russell orchestrating the offense. Okay. So again, watch this, gang. I told you I like that action. If Austin Reeves is playing off the pick and roll and attacking, then I like that action. Because off the pick and roll, he's one of the best in the world. Okay. Still a difficult shot, but AD is able to follow. So I like that action. I still would prefer D'Angelo Russell orchestrating the offense right now with this particular group. I like that. Committing defense to Cam Thomas. He's a bucket. Okay. Listen, gang. Listen, gang. What did I just tell you? I want D'Angelo Russell operating the offense with this particular group out there. Okay. Because D'Angelo Russell can, if he has, D'Angelo Russell's a dangerous offensive player. He can go get a bucket. Okay. He can go get a bucket. So in this particular group, yeah, also you become a set shooter. Okay. But D'Angelo Russell should be orchestrating the offense. And get your pass in, I'll take it. Okay. And look at, there's another big difference here, gang. What did I just tell you? I said Anthony Davis is my number one option, but not just for the sake of being my number one option. Here's what I mean by that. Anthony Davis needs to get the ball in this little circle right here. With this group that's on the court, there's no one over 6'8". Anthony Davis needs to catch the ball in this circle. Then if they choose to double him, kick it out to Austin Reeves. Kick it out to Taurean Prince. Kick it out to Rui Hachimura. Kick it back out to D'Lo. But Anthony Davis needs to catch the ball within this circle right here, as long as they are not guarding him. I'm going to say it again. If they're not guarding him, like meaning they're not like forcing him out here and they're letting him get down there, get him the ball down low. Good things will happen. You can't stop AD that deep. That's okay. I like that. You force Cam to make a play, get the ball out of his hands. Good play. I think I heard them say that the Lakers look like they might be in a zone. Now, I'll say this. It's kind of a little concerning this. Remember when we saw Dinwiddie hit that three from over here? And I kind of didn't really focus too much in on it, right? Well, one thing that does emerge here is that Cam over here, Cam Johnson can hit this three. Dinwiddie can hit this three. So they're kind of, I don't want to call it a triangle offense, but everything's right now kind of happening in this triangle area. And these guys are pretty much staying set. And if they're patient enough, they seem to be open every time. Yeah. We know that with a zone, the way you beat a zone is with ball movement and kind of penetrating, getting the ball into the middle. Because once they did that, all the zone collapses on that, and then you're able to get some shots out of from the perimeter. And again, I like D'Lo with the ball. I prefer D'Lo at the top though, like coming down from the top, not from the sides, but like I like him from the top. And he kind of waited a little bit long. I'd kick that back out. That's good offense. That's great offense. Let's take a look at that game. Okay. I'm totally comfortable with this whole possession. I would prefer D'Angelo Russell to bring the ball up the middle of the court, though, right? But in any case, he ends up going to the middle. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, watch this, gang. Watch. Okay. So we'll just keep watching. All right. I would have preferred that I was gonna say maybe Anthony Davis get the ball here. Maybe with his left hand, he kind of puts the ball like out here where he can get to it without Cam Johnson going over the top. I think they get him the ball, but it's kind of late. But still, the action still ends up being really good. So let's take a look here. Okay, so they're now look at him doubling him. Doesn't even have the ball. So now they got him. Now remember what I said. Anthony Davis is not the greatest passer out of the double, but he is man. He has been doing a really good job over these last couple of weeks. He's getting better at it. Okay, he's getting better at it. So here he's holding it. Oh, let the double come. This is awesome. Anthony Davis showing a lot of growth. Anthony Davis, man, this is beautiful. Watch this game. Okay. Anthony Davis waited until the double came. Rui's going to crash. And because Rui is going to crash, his guy has to go with him. So Anthony Davis makes the perfect pass out here to Austin Reeves, which puts Cam Johnson in a predicament where he's either got to run here or run here, but he's going to run to the ball, which is the right play. And then Austin Reeves makes the right play, which is a pass to Taurean Prince, and you get a wide open corner three. This is great offense. It's a make or miss league. He misses it. Okay. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That was a great play. That was a great play. And really, by getting the ball to AD down on the block somewhat, it really opened things up. He's doing a really, really good job of passing out of the double. He's getting better at that. With AD growing in that area, it makes this team so much more dangerous because you're able to get a secondary, like kind of ball creation guy with AD when he's doing that. Because notice here in this case, LeBron's not on the court, but with AD passing out of the double like that, and then he's passed to a high IQ guy like Austin Reeves, it gives you another like creator, offensive creator. So that was just I really love the sequence I just saw there. I'll take it. I'll take it. Rui Hachimura's got 7-foot wingspan. He's out there guarding Cam. Cam could have blown past him. He just has to have the confidence that even if he gets blown past, he's going to have some help. But I'm going to play Cam to stop him from scoring. If he can get past me and, AD or somebody else can't stop him, that's a different situation. But I'm going to stop Cam's initial offensive play. So great defense there. I like that. And it's a make or miss league. Okay, D-Lo with the ball. Perfect. AD's going down on the block. Let's see if we can get him the ball. Oh, wow. That was pretty cool. Let's take a look at that game. So in this particular play, D'Lo made a really good pass. I didn't see that pass coming. Okay. I'm thinking he was going to get the ball here to AD. And there's a reason I say get it to AD, though. So listen, if he gets the ball here to AD, they're going to double him. And with the doubles coming, AD's doing a better job of passing out of the double. Particularly, it's easy to pass out of the double when you got all these guys around you. So he makes the play over here to Rui. D'Lo does. Let's see what Rui does. He shows the three. And he's a good three-point shooter. But he probably should have shot that. Because in this, it's hard to say, like in real live action. But Cam never really sold out on that three. And he's small. So just shoot that three. It's an open corner three. Just shoot it. You know what the problem is? And that's one of Rui's problems. Rui doesn't always stay ready. If you watch Rui, he wasn't expecting that pass to come to him. And I wasn't either, right? So he wasn't really prepared to catch and shoot that basketball because he should have, because Cam never came out to him. So he's just driving into Cam to take this is a more difficult shot for Rui than it was out here him taking this shot. He should have just taken the open three, but he wasn't ready. And he does that sometimes where he's just not ready to make a play with the basketball. Yeah, he should have shot that three. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so let's just say Austin Reeves, that's his guy, right? If it is. And I'll tell you if it is here in a second. It is. So if I'm Austin Reeves, okay, here's what I just don't understand, right? Anthony Davis is in the middle of the court, and his guy is the one to set the screen. So Cam Johnson is not like an elite player where, let's say, he beats D'Lo and he's just going to go down and dunk it. He's going to have to dunk it on Anthony Davis. I'm not helping if I'm Austin Reeves because AD should know he's not getting help. His guy is way up here setting the screen. Cam's 7 feet back. I have plenty of time to get down here and make a play. Austin Reeves should be guarding his guy. I'm getting sick and tired of Austin Reeves not guarding his guy, giving this little phantom help that doesn't work, and then giving up threes. If Austin Reeves doesn't get this together, I wouldn't even play him anymore. He'll be back to being on the bench again. Austin Reeves doesn't provide adequate support on the defensive play with Cam Johnson. So just guard your guy. If AD can't stop this 2-on-1 action, then no one in the world can. Get on your guy. I'm getting sick and tired of Austin Reeves making this play game after game after game after game. His defensive IQ is a 0. And I say that because he just keeps doing the same thing game after game after game after game after game. Austin Reeves, guard your guy. I don't need you helping. If he couldn't figure that out, his tail would have been gone. Because that's a low IQ guy. When you keep making the same mistake, don't come off of your guy. And it's not hindsight or any of that. If AD's that cooked and he's beat, that's on AD. We'll talk about, hey, AD will tap himself on the head and say, I should have got that. My guy set the screen. Your guy's 7 feet away from the rim. He's coming from 27 feet. I'm at 17 feet. If I got to recover, I can recover. If Cam Johnson's good enough to do a Michael Jordan pull-up from here, then let him do it. So what are you doing, Austin Reeves? What are you doing, Austin Reeves? What are you doing, Austin Reeves? What are you doing? You're not helping. What are you doing? If I'm the Lakers, excuse me, if I'm playing the Lakers, I just draw this up all day. Austin is like a joke with this type of stuff. This is getting old. He has got to do better on this. He's got to be disappointed with himself. He's got to be. All these little buckets make a difference going into the half. Let me just go back. I'm going back again. I'm just so upset. You don't think Anthony Davis could stop this? He did. He made this crazy pass because Anthony Davis, the most elite defender in the world, is at the rim. We don't need you, Austin Reeves. Be on your guy. Look at the shot clock. 17 seconds. So it gets out here. If he's willing to shoot that over your head, let him shoot it. Otherwise, they're going to reset it and do something else. You've got to make better decisions, make better plays. They said that's a shot he likes. I'd like it too. Again, D'Angelo with the ball. I like that a lot. Don't like any of this. Don't like any of this. That didn't even make any sense. Watch this, gang. Taurean Prince should never have the basketball other than to be shooting a three. Period. He's not a good passer. He's not a good dribbler. He's not a good two-point shooter. If he's not catching and shooting, get the ball back to somebody that's better at doing it. This is almost ridiculous here. Of all the guys on the court to be dribbling or doing any type of offensive creation, why is Taurean Prince doing this? Doesn't even make sense. If Taurean Prince is doing this and he's not coachable, he shouldn't be on the court. If this is coaching and you call a play for Taurean Prince, you shouldn't be coaching. It's a 60 to 65 game. You've got to make prudent decisions with the basketball. You've got to make every possession count. You've got to make them pay. Right now, Anthony Davis is still the only guy above 6'8" or 6'9" on the court. He should be going down inside, getting opportunities. One thing that you could have done was you could have ran a screen for Anthony Davis just to get him a free run to get the ball down here. I'm going to say that again. You could have just put a screen on Anthony Davis's guy just to allow him to get freely down on the block. If they decide to double or triple team him, that's their choice. But whatever you're doing here with Taurean Prince doesn't make sense. So AD gets the ball from 18 feet away. He gives the ball to Taurean Prince. If Taurean Prince isn't shooting, he doesn't have a drive because his guy's in drop coverage. If he's not turning to shoot, what is he doing? Taurean Prince will not be on the court. I would ask him, what are you doing, Taurean Prince? If you're not catching the shooting this, then reset it. The stats don't prove out you being some type of great two-point shooter. It's just the stats don't prove that. You're not a great passer. So sure, I get your point. You're like, oh, I'm going to get the ball to AD. No, don't get the ball to AD. Make the more simple pass. Get the ball back out here to D'Lo. You got 12 seconds on the clock. I get the idea, but this isn't your game. You're not a great passer. Get the ball back out here to D'Lo. Get the ball back. Now, again, sure, I just told you guys I want Anthony Davis with the ball on the block, but he's already on the block down low. So get the ball back out here to D'Lo. He can get the ball. Anthony Davis, all we want is Anthony Davis to be down here. He's already down there. Unless they have some strategy to fully deny him from getting the ball, he's already down here. Somebody else pass the ball to D'Lo. Come out, set a screen. Let D'Lo get downhill and take a shot because Anthony Davis will be at the rim to get the rebound. He's the only guy above 6'8", 6'9". This is low IQ basketball. It's low IQ basketball. Low IQ basketball. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going into the half. D'Lo, take care of the ball. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. That's Taurean Prince's job. Catch, shoot, or get it back to a playmaker. Period. That's it. That's not super complicated. Catch, shoot, or do something with getting the ball to a playmaker. That's it. Pay attention, gang. I've got how this happened. I don't have a clue. How I have Cam Thomas on Austin Reeves in space. Well, maybe they think that Austin Reeves is the best defender, but I don't know. I'm nervous. Cam Thomas in space with the ball on Austin Reeves. Advantage Nets. The only way maybe it's not an advantage is if you say it's an advantage, because I would still try to trap him and then just leave AD at the rim and then say, let these other guys maybe beat me. But I'm nervous. Oh my gosh. So again, Cam Thomas, I'm trapping him in a way that I want to get the ball out of his hands and then have AD back. So everything kind of worked, but it's like you got to be more aggressive. I want the ball out of Cam Thomas's hands. I want the ball out of Cam Thomas's hands. Goodness gracious. So I like the action. I like the action. All right, so watch this, gang. I do want to look at that play again because something jumped out that I didn't like towards the end. All right. Okay. So I love D'Lo with the ball. Yes. But if I'm D'Lo and I'm here, I would have liked to maybe have gotten Anthony Davis down on the block a little bit more. You had enough time for AD to just go run down there and sit on the block. He didn't have to be getting into this pick and roll action because right now everybody's going with D'Lo. They're not even guarding AD at the 3-point line at all. So it's kind of like you could have had this pick set with anybody. And if Taurean Prince had time to be down here, this could also be Anthony Davis down here. Anthony Davis around the rim is just more proficient. So again, I don't like this play because Anthony Davis should be down around the rim and somebody else should have been setting the screen for D'Lo. So whatever else happens out of this, not a great drawn up play for the last play of the game or the play of the quarter. All this doesn't matter. That's a difficult shot. Anthony Davis should have been down at the rim. D'Lo should have been attacking, and somebody else should have been setting the screen. So again, we're going into halftime, and we've got a close game. Let's take a look at that score here. The score is, I think it was 68-62. But even with that, we're seeing some things that are just problematic. We're seeing offensively, the Lakers haven't really had a consistent idea of exactly what they're going to do. They haven't been able to stop Cam Thomas, to really throw all hats at Cam Thomas when he has the ball, trapping him and really forcing somebody else to beat you. They haven't done that. Austin Reeves kind of continues to come off of his guy, not providing this phantom help defense that's irrelevant and not effective. So there's still a number of things happening that you've got to be concerned about. But with that being said, you go into the half with a 6-point